Will GTA 6 be gory? I've had this question so many times on Discord, also on comments on pretty much every single one of my videos, and it's a topic that I've tried to avoid covering so far, mainly because there isn't a lot of information out there, but also I kind of assumed that people weren't really that interested in gore and all of that stuff. But clearly I was wrong. So in this video we're going to talk a little bit about what we're likely to see in GTA 6, but also what we're likely to not see in GTA 6. Before we get into today's video, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm trying to grow the channel, so any support you can give is massively appreciated. So to get an understanding of whether we're going to have gore and dismemberment in GTA 6, we need to kind of take a look back at Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, a lot of people are quoting Red Dead Redemption 2 as a gory game, and in my personal opinion, as someone that's grown up with horror films and playing horror games, Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't even scratch the surface of what a gory game should be or could be. And a lot of people, whether it be in my Discord comments or in my Instagram messages, have all cited that Rockstar will have the technology and the water physics to make blood look realistic and all of that sort of stuff. And I think a lot of people are confusing the technical limitations with what the game needs to be. Now, the first thing we need to quickly just tick off and have covered in this video is that Rockstar will make the most commercially viable game possible. The main reason for that is this game's cost them around about $2 billion, give or take. And yes, it will recover a lot of that money, but for example, if Walmart, Target and UK retailers and retailers all around the world pull out because the game doesn't have an M rating and instead goes to like an explicit rating for older demographics that's harder to sell in retail stores, they will just drop the game. And yes, we know Rockstar will still sell the game, whether it be through Steam or Epic Games, whatever it might be. They'll have online retailers to sell the game, but the retail element of the game does account for, well, as of 2018, Red Dead Redemption 2, it accounted for about 89% of all game sales. So Rockstar will usually do things that act in the best interest of making a 1% increase in revenue. Never mind an 80% increase in revenue. So what I'm trying to say here is anything that will harm the revenue from the game most likely won't be included within the game. We need to define a stark contrast between gore and dismemberment and intense gore. Beheadings and all of that sort of stuff, I don't think will make an entry into the Grand Theft Auto game. There may be one scene that might have that in it, but the legislation around rating a game, especially from ESRB and the Australian Classification Board, and of course we have classification boards in the UK as well, you can have hints of these things, like you can have one or two gory scenes, and as long as it's not too intense, it won't have a dramatic rating on the game. However, repetitive action and the ability to encourage the player to do something in the game is usually what is a determining factor on how a game is rated. So for example, if there's a mechanic built into the game where you can behead someone, for example, ESRB won't resonate with that very well at all, because what you're doing is you're giving people a violent option. And also, I want to preface at this point in the video, I'm just reporting on ESRB's regulations. I've read some statements out from various classification boards in my videos, and people have targeted me, angry at me, because they want to see that thing in the video. I'm just reporting on what these companies say and what they state in their policies. I will leave a link down below to ESRB where you can read some of their policies about gore and graphics and stuff. And I'm not going to read through the ESRB regulations in this video because this video would be about 7 hours long. It's intense, it's a massive read, but there is links down below if you guys do want to dive into more about how they classify games. So once again, going back to Red Dead Redemption 2, there was a few scenes in the game that were a little bit gory and quite intense, but gore being an element that is a product of doing something in the game isn't necessarily an issue. The problem usually comes from when the intent of the action is to create a gory scene. So for example, if the purpose is to go and rob a house and someone gets killed in the process, and that's in a game, that's not going to affect the M rating as much as the intention of going into a house and dismembering someone's body. That's the general consensus. It's the reasons why the gore's in the game. Is it done tastefully or is it done with ill intent? And this is a really important thing for all classification boards. And I personally don't think that Rockstar will take the risk and have all of these different gory elements built into the game for two main reasons. It won't add value to 99.9% of the players. Like in GTA 5, I didn't play that and think, oh damn, I wish this was more gory. That wasn't what I wanted out of the game. And I think for a lot of people, that's not something that we dramatically care about. In fact, I think this video might perform worse than all my other videos because people aren't really that interested. So this goes back to what I said at the start of the video. Rockstar will make the most commercially viable game, not the game that appeals to every single person out there. And the reality is they're going to focus on the storyline, the narrative, the emotional attachment, and the feature set within the game of all the different things that we can do. When it comes to gory and horror and all of this, that's not what Grand Theft Auto has ever been about. It's never been an attempt to take gore to the next level or horror to the next level, or anything like that. The focus has always been to tell compelling stories, and with each iteration of GTA that we've got, they've done that better and better. Now the next thing I want to talk about is why we had some gory elements in Red Dead Redemption 2, but why some people still think we won't have it in GTA 6. Now one of ESRB's criteria for the use of gore and weaponry within the game is whether it's period correct or it's part of a storytelling perspective. So for example, a lot of the guns in Red Dead Redemption 2's era, the impact that would have on people, for example a close range shot dismembering them, is actually a realistic thing that would happen because the ammunition wasn't precise, it was pretty much massive slugs that just caused a lot of damage. With more modern weaponry, they're way more precise and refined, and that's not usually a byproduct of those particular weapons. I think people need to remember that Red Dead Redemption 2 was a timepiece. It wasn't an attempt to be gory. They had some gory scenes in there because they had this loophole, which was the time period, to get away with some things like that because it abided by ESRB's regulations. You're not going to have a 9mm pistol and be able to dismantle someone's body in a game. It's not going to happen. So I think we need to bear that in mind. And the final thing I want to say in this video, I've had a few comments from people saying that in the leaks that we had back in 2022, that there was mentions of gore and dismemberment. I can't find anything about that in the leaks, and I've combed through them, of course, a lot for these videos. If someone does know the clip that is featured in, please comment it down below. I would love to look a bit further into it and maybe use that to tailor some of my research. I can't seem to find that clip anywhere, but if anyone can suggest which file name that's in, please drop in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching today's video, and if you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing. I don't think this video is going to get monetized, I guess we'll find out, but thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.